Hi guys, Sean the Buffalo and welcome back to another one of our deck profiles. Um, I've been watching this deck, the Dusk main Necrozma deck, which this is, over the past 2 weeks or so, since it's been on PTCGO. And, after seeing its weaknesses and where its strength lies and all the other things that revolve around your general deck building and stuff like that, I have attempted to come up with not only the most or near most consistent, but definitely strongest option of the deck. That's what I've attempted to come up with in regards to every different matchup and where your strengths lie and things like that. Obviously, worst matchup for this deck is anything Garbodor based, especially heavy tool Garbodor based as well. So there's a lot of outs for that in this deck without reducing the inconsistency too much, as we'll get into. So we'll jump straight into it anyway. So for our Pokemon, we are only running two of the actual Dusk main Necrozma. There is a rescue stretch in the deck, so you'll never really ever need more than two of this guy. Obviously, play a third if you feel like it's going to be prized. Solgaleo Prism Star, very important against obviously the deck's worst matchup, which anything Garbodor based, means that using Radiant Star allows you to still get additional energies on board without the use of Magnezone, and it also means that as well, like, you'll never be really out of energy in case you've like blitzed through your energy too quickly. You can also always drop the Solgaleo, assuming you haven't discarded it too early. One of Dialga GX, still something that I'm sort of working with, not entirely convinced by it, but not entirely saying it's trash. So it's one of those things that, again, I'm using mainly for overclock, if anything. Like I say, I just wanted that extra consistency, and overclock certainly does do that for you. And then just two other tech attackers in the deck, which are just sort of useful ability ones, and useful ability one, and the other one just for being a great attacker and only taking 2 energy. So the first one is Genesect EX, and a lot of people haven't seen this card in a while. It's for those that don't know what it is yet. Drive Change allows you to spot tools about in your deck and stuff like that. And anytime you don't want to discard them, or you want them in your hand for that turn, but you have to like shuffle the rest of your hand away to get more cards or something or other, like with Cynthia or N, which are both high counts in this deck, you can drop your required tool onto Genesect, reshuffle your hand, and then pick it back up with Drive Change, which is obviously very useful. Also means you don't have to Sycamore it away, although there is only one Sycamore in this deck. And the other attacker is Cobalion, because if your opponent does, for some reason, take 5 prize cards, then for Revenge Blast with Choice Band hits for 2 Time on Zoroark, and will probably take your last 2 prizes at some point. Very good attacker against Decidueye and stuff like that. Like, Decidueye is relatively a sort of even match for this deck, because you don't one-shot it because of Meteor Tempest, and you do only have 1 Choice Band. So the idea is to sort of at some point use Sun's Eclipse on them, so that's 1 knockout. Your next knockout you want coming from a Choice Band, which you only run the 1 of, and then your last knockout you sort of want to take on a Lele or something like that. If you can take it on a Zoroark with Cobalion, obviously, like I say, that's why it's there. Or a Choice Banded Solgaleo, Prism Star, Corona Impact, and things like that. Like, it's one of those. It can be quite difficult, but that's just the nature of the game. And then supporting Pokemon, just 2 Tapu Lele, 1 Oranguru, and then I'm literally only playing 3 Magnezone, and 3 Magnemite. Like, Magnezone is just sort of makes the whole deck clunky in a sense. You don't really want to be flirting with that stage 1 when you play such a heavy count of rare candy. There should really be no need for it. Just going to adjust the camera a bit here. For the worst, apparently. So, yeah, moving on to supporters anyway. Just realign this, and you can tell that I've just started making these videos as such, well, within the past year. So supporters, 4 Cynthia, because you never want to really discard anything, and Cynthia is incredible for making hands happen, really. 4 N, because regardless of what people think, like, N is still one of the strongest supporters, if not the strongest supporter in the game. Like, N is ridiculously powerful, always. Standard 3 Guzma pretty much goes into every deck, as we're all aware. You know, maximising capacity for both consistency and also finding your outs to your worst matchup. I am playing double Skylar. Far too important. And yeah, obviously, sorry, the one last draw supporter is Sycamore. So Skylar gets you any of your items like Professor's Letter. You can grab your Mountain Coronet, grab you for a support for next turn, Rare Candy, Ultra Ball. Find you all your missing pieces for your Magnezone and Magnemite combo. But also finds you your missing energy for your Solgaleo, or well, for your attack generally, or if you blitz through too much energy, then obviously finds you the Mountain Coronet to get that back, and finds you the Field Blows and such. And then just 2 more supporters. And this is quite a crazy deck list, because as you'll notice here, we've got 4, 8, 11, 14, 16 supporters. Now 16 supporters is a very heavy count, and the only one that I'd really cut from here is Acerola. And not to replace it with another supporter by any means, just to replace it with another Professor's Letter or something. We all know what Acerola does. With this deck, your opponent's usually taking 2-hit KOs on Dusk Necrozma, because 190 HP is pretty hefty. Because it means that Lycanroc GX, if you've got 3 Pokemon on the bench, Lycanroc GX needs both a Choice Band and a Strong Energy to take a KO of Dangerous Rogue. So it's like, if they can't 1-hit kill you, then Acerola becomes amazing. And literally, you can do anything in this deck that you want to do if you have Magnezone and Mount Coronet up, like having another Skylar for more energies and being able to use your other attacks to get more energies and stuff like that. Like, Magnezone and Mount Coronet makes this deck like near unstoppable. So anyway, into the items again. Maximum consistency. 4 Ultra Ball. We all know what Ultra Ball does. 4 Rare Candy. We all know what Rare Candy does, especially considering all my other videos have basically been on Gardevoir. So no surprise there. Again, fighting the deck's worst weakness is Garbodor, and you don't want to be going into Garbodor matches thinking, oh, I'm going to lose this because I've got 1 field, but you may as well have 2, just because they're like, you can win every other matchup. This also helps against the Buzzwole decks that run Fighting Fury Belt and Acerolas and things like that. Like, that is an annoying combo, because that puts Buzzwole to 230 HP, which again you can't actually knock out. And the whole point of this deck is literally just to blow through people. Like, oh, you've got HP, no. You've got HP, no. That is like the whole point of this deck. This is mainly for your Dusk Necrozma. If you're missing pieces of Magnezone for no apparent reason, then obviously you can get them back as well. Just the 1 copy of Professor's Letter, possibly goes to 2, just to cut 1 energy and put another one of this in. It's sort of, again, a work in motion. 2 tools, Mount Coronet, and, not Mount Coronet, sorry, Floatstone Choice Band, both grab a ball of Skylar, and at some point you will find yourself in a situation where you want float stone. That is something I've noticed with all these videos and testing as well against a friend. And Fremont Coronet, again, one of those, the only card that I want 4 of, but there again in the mirror match, it's like they'll be dead in your hand, and you know you've got Skyless to grab it anyway. So I think 3 is just the perfect number for it, really. And then so 4, 8, 12. Now most people are playing only like 10 or 11 energy. I'm just putting an extra 1 in for now. Like, I sort of want to change this last energy for Professor's Letter, but yeah, it's just one of those things that as I go along and as I go testing, like I've only just literally put this deck together the other day, just got some of the Ultra Prism stuff finally, and you know did my best to put it together with helpful friend Gaz that comes to Netherworld in Chester. But yeah, that's my deck profile, guys. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know about what you change, what you think is bad, what you think is too much, too little, needs more of, all the rest of that stuff. And drop us a like and subscription as always. That would be absolutely brilliant, and I'd really, really appreciate it. And yeah, and you know, hopefully as well to any of you viewers that watch this, if you ever come to Netherworld in Chester, or if I come to your area one day, you'll have fun facing me while I play a stack. So anyway, have a good day or night, whatever time it is where you're watching, and look after yourself, guys. See you later.